You vanish, not physically, but emotionally, mentally, socially. When life gets too heavy, you pull back. You stop responding. You go quiet. And people notice. But here's what most people miss. This isn't avoidance, it's survival. Picture this. Your phone buzzes. A text, then another. A call you ignore. Plans you said yes to last week now feel impossible. You're not angry at anyone. You're not upset. You're just empty. So you retreat. Cancel plans. Stop posting. Stop talking. You need silence. You need space. You need to disappear for a while, and the guilt hits. Because you know people are wondering where you went, but you can't explain it. Because even you don't fully understand why you shut down. That's where it gets interesting. Here's the truth. You have a limited emotional bandwidth. And when it's maxed out, your brain does something automatic. It withdraws. Think of your mind like a computer running too many programs. Eventually, it slows down, freezes, needs a restart. Psychologists call this cognitive overload. When your brain is processing too much stress, too many decisions, too much stimulation, it prioritizes survival over connection. And connection requires energy. A lot of it. Texting back, showing up, being present, smiling, listening, responding. All of that takes mental fuel. When you're overwhelmed, that fuel runs out. So your brain makes a choice. It shuts off non-essential systems. And social interaction? That gets categorized as non-essential. Not because people don't matter, but because your system is protecting itself. Most people don't realize this. They think disappearing means you're selfish, flaky, rude. But your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's giving you space to recover. There's a deeper reason you disappear. You process emotions internally. While some people talk through their feelings, you absorb them, silently, deeply, alone. You don't need advice. You don't need solutions. You need time to sit with what you're feeling until it makes sense. Behavioral science shows that people with high internal processing tendencies often withdraw during stress. It's not antisocial. It's how your brain organizes chaos. You replay conversations, analyze situations, rethink decisions, and all of that happens in solitude. Talking about it before you've processed it? That feels wrong, premature, draining, so you go quiet. Not because you're avoiding people, but because you're working through something they can't see. And here's what makes this harder. Society rewards extroverted coping, venting, sharing, opening up. Those are seen as healthy. But introversion in pain? That's judged, misunderstood, labeled as distant. Yet some of the most emotionally intelligent people are the ones who know when to step back. They understand their limits. They honor their need for space. And that's not weakness. That's self-awareness. Let's go deeper. You're not just mentally tired. You're sensorially exhausted. Noise, notifications, conversations, questions, eye contact, small talk. Every interaction is input, and your nervous system has a threshold. Neuroscience shows that people with highly reactive nervous systems experience sensory fatigue faster. You absorb more, feel more, notice more. And when you're already overwhelmed, even a simple text feels like too much. It's not the person. It's not the message. It's the demand for output when you have nothing left to give. So you disappear. You silence your phone. Avoid eye contact. Stay home. Create a buffer between you and the world. Because what you need isn't more stimulation. It's less. You need stillness, quiet, a reset. And here's the part people miss. This isn't running away. This is running toward equilibrium. Your disappearance isn't rejection. It's recalibration. You're not abandoning people. You're preserving yourself so you can show up later, fully, authentically. But most people don't wait around to see that part. Here's the neurological truth. Your brain operates on a stress recovery cycle. When cortisol levels spike from chronic overwhelm, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for social engagement and decision-making, becomes impaired. This is why overwhelm doesn't just make you tired, it makes you withdraw. Your amygdala, your brain's threat detector, goes into overdrive. And when that happens, your brain shifts into self-preservation mode. Social connection requires the ventral vagal system to be active. That's the part of your nervous system that helps you feel safe, connected, and engaged. But when you're overwhelmed, your nervous system shifts into dorsal vagal shutdown. This is a biological response, not a choice. You literally cannot force yourself to be social when your nervous system has decided you're not safe enough to connect. So when you disappear, you're not being difficult. You're being regulated by your biology. And the only way out? Rest, solitude, time. Here's the misconception. People think disappearing means you don't care. Oh, that you're avoiding them, ghosting them, that you're unreliable or cold. But the opposite is true. You disappear because you care too much, about showing up authentically, about not faking energy you don't have, about not draining yourself further by pretending to be okay. You'd rather be honest in your absence than dishonest in your presence. And that's rare. Most people perform. They show up half empty and pretend they're full. They smile through exhaustion. They engage when they're depleted. But you can't do that. It feels wrong, inauthentic. So you step back, and people misread it. They take it personally. They assume the worst. They stop reaching out, and that creates a cycle. You withdraw to recover. People pull away. You come back, but the distance has already grown. The truth? Hey, people who disappear when overwhelmed aren't the problem. The problem is a culture that doesn't understand the difference between avoidance and self-preservation. So here's the question. How long do you wait before you disappear? Do you push through until you're completely burnt out? Or do you listen to the early signals? Because here's what changes everything. The moment you stop apologizing for needing space. The moment you communicate your pattern instead of hiding it. The moment you trust that the right people will understand. That's when disappearing stops feeling like failure. It becomes a boundary, a rhythm, a form of self-respect. You don't owe anyone constant availability. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace. But you do owe yourself honesty about what you need and when you need it. Here's what people get wrong. They think disappearing is the end, a breakdown, a sign something's wrong. But for you, it's the beginning of recovery. You're not running from life. You're creating the conditions to return to it, stronger, clearer, more yourself. Because some people recharge by being around others. But you recharge by stepping away. And there's nothing broken about that. The people who matter will learn your rhythm. They'll stop chasing you when you go quiet. They'll trust that you'll come back. Because you always do. Just on your own terms. In your own time. And maybe that's not disappearing at all. Maybe that's just you, knowing exactly what you need.